Hi, I'm Nicola.
Hi, I'm Hugh.
And today we're going to talk about the darker truth behind messages like this. The other day on Twitter, I shared a message that I had got on Facebook, and actually we get these type of messages somewhat regularly, right?
Yes.
And it's someone saying, oh, I want a Korean husband. Can you help me get a Korean husband? Okay, the first reason why it's annoying is because obviously we are not giving out Korean husbands or something like that, right?
Yeah, we are not the agency like that.
Yeah, we're not a marriage agency like that. It's very obvious when you look at our stuff that, oh, this is a blog and this is about their life together. But secondly, I realize that a lot of people actually don't realize why there's these type of messages. So I got some people on Twitter saying, oh, you know, K-pop and K-dramas, oh, people love that, oh, you'll get lots of messages like that because the K-pop and the K-drama. But actually there's something else going on that we want to talk about.
It can be kind of disturbing.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that today. So there's definitely a difference between messages that is like a 15-year-old K-pop fan saying, oh, I love K-pop, I want a Korean husband. And then there's these type of desperate messages that are from women that are often Southeast Asian countries, but I'm not going to say exactly always there, but some other countries in the world, they're messages from women there, and they're asking for help to get a Korean husband. And this can be influenced by the Hallyu wave, so K-pop and K-dramas, and this idolized, like, you know, image of a Korean man. But they're not asking for the impossible, right? They're asking because this is a thing that already happened. There's already a whole industry of importing foreign wives for Korean men. So why does this happen?
Because especially people from countryside or people who is getting old, it's hard to get, you know,
a Korean wife, a wife in your own country.
Because they don't have enough education, or they don't have enough chance to meet new girls, and people don't wanna marry to, you know, countryside or somewhere nearly not many people live. And also the old people more men than women.
So there's a gender imbalance for that sort of age range. And even your age range as well, there's still a bit of a gender imbalance. I think it's only recently sort of switched the other way, but it means there's so many men that literally can't get a wife because Korean women are educated, they want to live in the city, they don't want to work hard on a farm like that. So what do? At some point people realize they could buy a wife from another country.
Yeah.
And these women are usually from poorer countries and are from a poorer situation themselves. So they are looking for a better situation. But what is the problem with that?
Because then that situation, the guy is quite old and the girl is really young, like sometimes like 30 years
different age difference.
Yeah. And of course some people, they know how to speak Korean a little bit, but most of people, they don't know how to speak Korean, and they just come to Korea and go to countryside and they can't have a conversation properly, and they want the wife to be Korean. And how? Yeah,
and so it's often like older men, uneducated men, ignorant men, often living below the poverty line themselves. I think if you look at the statistics of it, it's actually these type of families are usually a lot poorer than just like, you know, other people living in Korea. So a lot of these women are switching one poverty situation for another poverty situation.
Yes.
It's not this like come to Korea and have a Korean husband and have, you know, this wonderful life like in the dramas or that type of thing. A lot of the time it's you know, not a good situation for them. So a lot of the time these men are older, they're ignorant, they're racist, and these women are put in a situation where there can be domestic violence like that. A lot of them actually run away to Seoul, right?
Seoul to another city.
Somewhere else. And even in our village, there were several families that had a foreign bride, but she had run away. And what is sort of people's response to that?
the people in the town, they just say shit things about the wives because they just run away without husband and the family. But just think about why they run away.
Yeah.
Why? And I heard that some other like wives in our town, and they have 2 kids, but the women just ran away because she wanted to have chicken or whatever. They never bought chicken for her, and then they just ordered chicken, and only the family, the husband and mother-in-law ate it, and then they didn't give it to
She was treated like a servant.
the wife.
She had to
Yeah,
work.
she worked really hard.
To work in the fields and then literally treated like as a servant or a slave.
Yeah, that's why she ran away without her kids.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really tragic situations where these children are multiracial children and they're living in the countryside and they know that they're different and they know that they look different, but they're getting no education about their other culture. Their mother isn't there anymore, and it's understandable why these women do often run away. So there's been so many negative situations like that. The good news is that it is slowly changing and the government is trying to make a better situation, right?
Yeah, because the multicultural family the number is getting higher and
Yeah,
higher.
it's growing.
It's over 300,000 multicultural family in Korea. So they need to do something. I mean, the
Yeah.
government needs to do something for the future.
So the major reason why there's so many negative situations like this is because of the marriage agencies. There's illegal marriage agencies and they lie to both people. So they lie to the woman that, oh, you're going to have this wonderful life in South Korea, it's going to be like this, and you're going to marry a rich man. And then they tell the man, oh, she's going to bring this much money with her. And then they both have been lied to, and the situation is nothing like what they thought it would be. And the government is like warning people you should only do it through like the correct legal channels if you are looking for a marriage like this, because these marriages can be a benefit for people and for Korea. Korea has a declining birth rate. A lot of men need wives and a lot of women are looking for a better situation. So I think the more there is sort of like an evaluation of what situation a woman is going into, and definitely have the couple be closer in age. I think the success stories that we hear, like people that are happy in their relationships and have a good life, are when it's, you know, closer in age, not creepy old men
Not 20
wanting
years or
a
gap,
19-year-old bride or something.
Yeah, we have a successful. I don't know if they are success, but they look happier. They are similar age.
Yeah, in our
and
area.
they have kids and they have a good life.
Yeah, definitely something that could be a benefit if things were done properly. So when we were living in the countryside, I had a Korean tutor to help me with my Korean, and she taught a lot of other women in the area, and I was the only love match, I think, that she taught. So all the other women that she taught were from arranged marriages like that. You know, like in the past we sort of called it mail order brides, and I actually don't know what the sort of correct term is these days, you know, because mail order bride sounds kind of offensive like that, but it is. It's not a love match. It's something that is arranged through an agency like that. My teacher also said that years ago she saw so many terrible situations,
Yes,
right?
so many.
Yeah, so her heart was like really hurt for so many of these women stuck in these situations. But she said in recent years it's definitely been getting better.
Improved, yeah. Also, sometimes people think Nicola is mail order bride from like Ukraine or Russia or somewhere, Uzbekistan. I don't know. They just put the price as well. When someone say about Russian or like Ukraine or Uzbekistan, and yeah, they are more expensive, right?
Yeah, there's sort of this like, I don't know how true it is, but these sort of like rumors that go around that if you get a bride from Russia or somewhere like that, she costs more. So because there wasn't many love matches in the area we're living in the countryside, people would just automatically assume that I was a bought bride, which I don't want to be like too offended at that, because you know, these marriages are legitimate as well, and there are people that are happy and there are people that it was like a good thing for them, but no, you didn't buy me, we are a love match. But when we would go into immigration, and of course everybody else is a sort of multicultural family there, and you could hear it go through of like, she's a Russian, she's a Russian, she's a Russian. And then men were sizing her up thinking, oh, this guy's a rich farmer and he must have paid a lot for her.
That's
Yeah.
what people expect. And there's like misconception of like people from different country, and if in that town, if someone who's from Vietnam or Philippines, and if they run away, and they all think, oh, you can't trust Vietnamese girls, you can't trust
because one girl ran away for
Yes.
good reason. So it's like you're dealing with that sort of ignorance, that countryside ignorance, which I think every country has that sort of countryside rural ignorance where people aren't educated that much. So you'll hear things like, I think we definitely heard like, oh yeah, you know, this type of girl is not a good type of girl, but if you get this type of girl, she's a good type of girl. And it's like, you can't say a whole country, that every girl from this country is like that. So that's another difficulty for these brides, is to be living in areas where people can be racist and they don't have support for their own culture. It's very different to Australia, which is a multicultural country, and people could fit into, you know, you can go to, this is the Vietnamese area, or this is this area. Like you have that sort of support base of other people from your country.
Yeah.
It's a lot more difficult in Korea. So that's the darker truth behind these messages. Like they can seem really funny, of like, aha, somebody wants a Korean husband, aha, that's so stupid, that's so ignorant. But it is something that there is this disturbing truth behind it. And what really worries me about these girls is they're obviously online searching for a Korean husband, and so easy for them to fall prey to the illegal agencies, the agencies that are just trying to make money off the situation rather than them going into a good situation. So if you do come across somebody that you think might be like that online, maybe you could engage sort of in dialogue with them of like, oh, why do you want a Korean husband and what do you think, and maybe sort of ask them about that, and it might help educate a little bit like that. I think the worst thing to do is bully and ridicule. Like sometimes on Tumblr you see that where people are just completely abusing people that say something like, I want a Korean husband, and that's not the right way to do it. There needs to be more education so that there can be less of these situations. Another thing to note is that you might be thinking that this whole concept of like arranged marriage is very strange, but it's not that unusual in Korea, is it?
Yeah.
Like the rich still have arranged marriages in Korea. If you are looking to get married and you sort of don't know anybody you can marry, you go to an agency and they're like, this person wants to get married as well. And if you're like, yeah, we like each other enough, like in 2 months you can be married.
Sometimes months.
A month, sometimes in a month. It's you've also got to fit it into the context of Korean society. It's not that Koreans are like, oh my god, let's buy these, you know, poor wives or that type of thing and be abusive. It's just that already in the culture it is normal to have an arranged marriage. So the solution obviously was that, well, there's not enough women, so let's get women from another country. It needs to be made better. It needs to be an actual benefit to everybody. And there needs to be a push for acceptance of multiculturalism and understanding these women's culture, and so that they have a legitimate place in Korean society as well.
And the Korean, the first lady is the lowest.
Yeah, such a low birth rate.
Yeah, in OECD country,
Yeah.
the lowest for many years. So we have some population problem. So the government also try to help this kind of multicultural families, but still long way to go. And also one of my friends is doing really good thing for multicultural family in Korea, especially multicultural family children. Sometimes, like so many times, like the mom ran away or the father is really abusive, and they got really bullied a lot in the school. So they have so much anger in them.
Yeah.
So that's why people are worried about if they are going to do some criminal stuff, which is really bad. So my friend is trying to help them to, you know, remove the anger and then do something for the
something positive
things for this country. Well, they are Korean. They are born in Korea, so they are Koreans. It's not like they are foreign or something.
They've never been to Vietnam or they've never been to the Philippines.
They've never been to Australia, they've never been to America.
They're just multiracial Koreans. They have two cultures, and I think it's important that they know both cultures, and they should also be accepted in Korean society as well, because multiculturalism is the way of the future. Like, sorry if people don't like that, but it's necessary for Korea to survive, actually.
It is.
So I think this is a little bit more positive, that there are being more multicultural marriages, but actually people are meeting through friends rather than through these agencies.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more honesty now when these are this is happening. So it's something that we're very passionate about making a good environment for these marriages, for the children, and a good environment in Korea when it comes to multiculturalism. And we also are like planning to be involved in making materials and stuff for these families, because the government sends out people to these families to educate them about being multicultural, and the person knows nothing about being multicultural. Like, there's a real lack of resources in Korea. So that is something that we're passionate about pushing, and hopefully in the future we can see some really positive changes.
So that's one of our goals.
That's part of the reason why we also do blogging and YouTube and everything like that, is because we want to create a positive future. Thank you for watching this video, and please share this video if you think this is an important message to get out, so that we can create better situations for people. And I hope that sort of puts some perspective on why there's those type of messages online, and actually that it's quite desperate women wanting to get out of their own poverty situation. And hopefully we can create better environments for them if they do choose to come to Korea.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And check out the comics on the blog and the webtoon online webtoon and the social media, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.